the total number of students that are registered by the total number of teachers that we have. And we need to do that by August 6th, which is our Independence Day. And on August 7th, I will be contacting all the teachers. I will be contacting each one of you, the teachers, and telling you this is your list of students. The same thing that happened when you joined the program, you know? So I'm going to do that on August 7th because it's a Friday. So you will have the weekend to contact your students. You were on the other side of the picture when you were contacted by your instructors. So you know that sometimes you don't check email, you know that sometimes you don't check WhatsApp, you know that sometimes you change numbers and you don't tell anybody. You know, these things happen. So we will have that weekend, you see, August 7th, 8th, and 9th to contact your students. Because on August 10th, your classes, your lessons will start. You see? So you will have lessons with your students 3 times a week, the same as what you did for your training. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Why did we choose that schedule? Because generally, that's a schedule in which people are already sort of free. Several of you needed to quit the program because they had classes at the university scheduled at that time, but sadly we couldn't change that, you know. So we're very sure too that people that are registering for the program, they might also have schedule problems, but we are not going to offer a different schedule. You know, like everybody will have to work on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. So the classes will go from August the 10th until December the 12th. So this is not a lot of time, you know? This is not a lot of time, but it's enough time for all of you teachers to do your best job to give all of your students a solid foundation of English. So the idea is for all of your students to be able to continue learning English on their own after December, you know? So we are not going to tell you, for example, how many lessons you need to cover, but you have 52 lessons. You have a book and you have the VOA site with 52 lessons, you know? So you need to start working with them. And depending on your class and depending on your students, you will be able to go either faster or more slowly, you know? This, for example, my dear teachers, is a luxury, you know, un lujo that not every teacher has. Generally, when you work at an institution, they tell you 3 lessons a week. And no matter what you do, you need to teach 3 lessons a week. If your students understand, great. If they didn't, sorry, but you need to continue. This time, this is going to be different because you will be going on at the rhythm in which your students learn. So this is not a competition, you see? This is not a competition as in how many lessons you finished, but this is a competition as in how much your students can do with what they are learning. You see? So this is like the future of education. This is something that I hope that Bolivia is ready for, you see? Because I know that we all come from very traditional classrooms and very traditional schools. But this time we have the opportunity to do something different. This time we have the opportunity to really make a change in Bolivia's educational system from the English perspective. You see? This is very exciting, believe me. You know, like I've been an English teacher for 24 years before I started working at the embassy. And even now, I continue teaching, you know, at graduate level. This is to like diplomados, maestrías, and doctorados. I've got a PhD in education, and I'm totally in love with what we educators do. Okay? Now, later on, you will be like, I will be creating a WhatsApp group with all of you. You know, I mean, this is going to be like a huge group, but it's okay because I will be inviting you to like at least one more meeting, you know, a meeting and material that I will share with you, especially with dates like the one that you see here. You see, these dates are important. The one that says like September 5th, October 3rd, October 31, and November 38, because because on these dates, and you don't need to remember this today, but you will remember these dates. You need to report to me. You know, you need to report to me as in, um, I lost 3 students that didn't come back to class any longer. I tried to contact them, but they did not reply or whatever, you know, or to let me know, you know, like if you have any trouble with the material or anything, you don't need to wait for this date. You know, I mean, you can contact me like anytime before. And then I will be the person who's like the closest to you so that I can help you solve any kind of problem that you have. Okay? So this is a lot of information. So take a good screenshot of this because I think that nobody has like perfect memory to remember, especially all of these dates. So if you want to take a good screenshot of this screen, like go ahead, do it now. And I want to open the mic for a few minutes in case any of you has like any questions. So I'm stopping now. I will stop sharing my screen, okay? So please just like raise your hand if you have any question today and feel free to ask. I'm open to entertain any question that you have. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening.
Hello, Jessica.
Yes, I had a question. Do we have freedom to teach by Google Meet or by Zoom, or do we have to choose one of these?
Fantastic question. And I need to apologize because I should have mentioned that too. You're free to use anything you want. Now, thank you for your question, Jessica, because this is very important. And listen to me. Once you get to meet your students, you will find out where they are from. You know, once you receive your official lists, the same that happened to your VELES, you know, your virtual educators, your trainers, you will have like all the information and you will learn where your students are from, where they live. So you know that our country, it's very peculiar, but in the means of internet, it's not necessarily the best everywhere, you know? So my advice would be to go as simple as you can, technologically speaking. You see, like if you want to use, for example, Google Meet, or if you want to use Zoom, stop your class at 45 minutes and start again. That's okay. You know, if you want to use Teams, if you want to use Jitsi, it doesn't really matter what you use. You can even use your WhatsApp, and I want you to I want to make sure that you went over the manual, the PDF that you were shared, you know, by your VELES, because on my express request, the specialist did include some notes for the teacher on using WhatsApp, you know, because honestly, WhatsApp is what everybody has in our country, everybody. So teaching your class in a synchronous fashion, this is live, you know, it's what everybody wants to do. But I'm pretty sure that you will have some students who lose their connection or who cannot continue, you know, like online for whatever reason there is. So WhatsApp, it's always your backup. You know, you can send instructions in WhatsApp. You can receive audios in WhatsApp. Your students can do homework via WhatsApp. There's so much that can be done. So the answer to you, Jessica, is you will not be forced to use a specific system. You may use whatever you want, and especially whatever works with your class. Fantastic question. Thank you for asking, Jessica. Very nice. Any other question? Don't be shy.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Hello, Roxana.
Hello. Many people would like probably to have classes on the weekends. Is there any possibility to open groups
Ooh.
for that or not?
The point would be, if any of you would like to move one of your classes, say Monday, Wednesday, or Friday to a Saturday, it's okay, you know? But you cannot have classes only on Saturdays. And let me tell you why. As you already know, exposure to the language is crucial. It's crucial. So if your students have classes only on weekends, it means that they will not be exposed to the language during the week. And that will definitely play against their learning, you see? So let's solve this individually. Once you meet your students, if they have, like, for example, you have 35 students in your class, if the vast majority of your students agree to change your Friday schedule to a Saturday, it's fine. Or the Wednesday schedule, but try to distribute your classes among the week. This is why we thought about Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because in that case, you will have your students exposed to the language very frequently, And as you saw in the material that was shared with you, you also have some material so that your students can work offline. This is asynchronously, like asincrónicamente, the day you don't have class, because that is the idea. For them, for your students to be exposed to English as much as possible. Okay? So Roxana, did I answer your question?
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other person that has a question? And I think that the answers are for like more people than the ones that asked, because many of you must have some other questions.
Good evening,
Hello, Alicia.
Gonzalo. Hello. I have a question. If we don't continue from now on, what is it that we lose? Personally, I'm finished issues and work, so I'm more or less in doubt. Please.
Okay, so if that's the case and more people are like Alicia, the first thing that you need to do is you need to notify your school, su carrera. You need to talk to your head of department, sus jefes de carrera, and let them know that you will not continue. So obviously, everybody who will continue and who will be teachers in the Inglés for All, Inglés para Todos, they will receive a certificate for the work that they have done, So this is real work. So this has a lot of weight on your curriculums. So if you don't continue, of course, that you don't receive that type of certificate. But again, the first thing, thank you, Alicia, for asking and for your honesty. The first thing that you need to do, because anyway, when I receive your final lists, I need to notify your jefes de carrera, like who completed the program and who didn't. I already did that for many people that did not continue. So your jefes de carrera know which one of you did not complete the program, you see? So that's the first thing you need to know. Like, don't tell me only, it's great that you tell me, but also tell your jefes de carrera that you, for whatever reason, are deciding like not to continue. I hope that, Alicia, it's only one of the very few that do this, because when you receive the invitation, the commitment was until December. Thank you, Alicia. Anybody else has any other question?
Hello, good night.
Okay, Araceli?
Yes, hello, good night, everyone. Regarding to the teaching materials for the classes, will be allowing to choose our own, or will you provide the same material for everyone?
Okay, so once again, the material that you're expected to use is the VOA material, you know? So everybody should be using the VOA material. The VOA material is free. It's available at the VOA site. So your trainers provided you with all the links. They taught you how to teach using that material. And besides the material that's on the internet, you were also provided a PDF guide, the step-by-step guide. So yes, everybody should be using the same material. Now, you didn't ask this, Araceli, but I must provide this explanation. When you're a teacher, you need to also be able to provide extra material when it's needed, you know? We will definitely need to have a couple more meetings in which I can provide you with examples on how to do this. For instance, if your students are not very committed and not very motivated by the material that we are using, for example, one fantastic way to make your students increase their motivation is by adding extra material, you know, material that will be liked and enjoyed by your students, you see? So, but this is called supplemental material, right? I mean, like you're not going to use some of the material that you have, but you're going to use other material to replace it. But you need to have a basis, you know, you need to have a guide. And the basic material for everybody to use is the VOA Let's Learn English program. We have time for one more question.
Me, please.
Yuli, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My question is, will there be normal classes during the holidays?
No, like generally, national holidays are respected, national holidays. For example, if there's a class, I don't know that for sure, but if you are a teacher in Santa Cruz and you're worried or concerned about like 24 de septiembre, so you need to take into account that not all of your students are from Santa Cruz, you know, so that is only a local holiday. So during local holidays, we will continue having classes. But if we have like national holidays, that's a different situation. For example, November the 2nd is All Saints Day. So that is a national holiday. So all Bolivia stops working, you know? If that's the case, then we stop. But if it's a local holiday, like for instance, July the 16th is a local holiday in La Paz. So that day, we should continue working. Obviously, classes don't start in July, but we will continue working because that holiday is local, you know, or like March the 6th in El Alto, for example, you know, or like September 14 in Cochabamba, etc., etc. Tamara, go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening. I have a question. In the case of an emergency or if anything unexpected happen, what should we do in that case?
Okay, fantastic question. Thank you, Tamara. In case there's an emergency, because we are humans and we have lives and things can happen, you know, in case anything happens to you or an emergency situation or something that happens in your life that will prevent you from having lessons, obviously you will have the whole class in a WhatsApp group. That's one of the first things you need to do. You're going to create a WhatsApp group with your class. So then you will notify your class, but first of all, you will notify me, And then you will notify your class and you will replace that class on a different day in consensus with your class, you know? So you were asked your class, like, when can we replace this class? Like, we can't have class tonight because, sorry, I mean, there's a test at the university that I need to take, or because my mother is ill and I'm like an only child and I need to support her, you know, situations that, of course, that we can understand. And then the class could be replaced on a different day. Thank you for your question, Tamara. Very good one. And people, we're going to close our meeting now, but I'm very sure that we will have more questions. So this is it. Remember, once again, we have important dates that I am sharing with you again. Please, you already have the QR code. If you don't, this is the QR code. Take a picture of it. Register to become teachers of the Inglés para Todos program. You need to register. You need to do it before or at the end, by the end of the day of July 1st, okay? On July 2nd, I will check the forms. And then over the weekend, I will be working, but I need to find the time so that I can create a WhatsApp group with all of the teachers. You will be maybe grouped by universities or maybe by other criteria. I don't know that yet. I need to have your lists first. And then we will have the means to communicate directly, you know? That group will have its own rules, like no memes, no big salutations, you know? We want to have a WhatsApp group that really works for communication. And you will be sent, you know, a link so that you can join the WhatsApp group. And that's the way this is going to work, you see? So I will ask your virtual educators not to delete the groups and to share the link so that you can register to the WhatsApp group, you know? Like that's very important for you to do. Okay? So thank you, everybody, and congratulations. You know, thank you for being part of the training. Thank you for the interest in being part of something that will really, really affect Bolivia. You know, we are going to have a huge impact in our country, and we should be proud of doing what we're doing. It was a complete pleasure to meet you. We will continue. This is not the end of anything. It's actually the beginning of something huge, you know, of something that you will be part of. Okay? Good night, everyone. Have a good night's sleep. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you
Thank you.
soon.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank
You.
you.
Goodbye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. I'm supporting.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Natita.
Hello.